In the Impact segment tonight, Donald Trump has never had a problem voicing his low opinion of his fellow candidates. But now, even Jeb Bush, who describes himself as the joyful tortoise in the 2016 GOP field, is going into attack mode.
Jeb Bush is a low-energy person. For him to get things done is hard. He's very low energy. You know what's happening to Jeb's crowd, as you know, right down the street? They're sleeping. They're sleeping now.
Mr. Trump doesn't have a proven conservative record. He was a Democrat longer in the last decade than he was a Republican. He's given more money to Democrats than he's given to Republicans.
But Trump does have a proven record shaking things up this political season, most recently by calling for an end of automatic citizenship to children born in the USA to parents who are illegal aliens. Trump's plan has caused a furious debate inside the GOP, forcing other presidential hopefuls to declare where they stand on the explosive issue. Joining us now in studio with more on the immigration battle, Dana Perino, co-host of The Five. So, I think that people like it when candidates come out and take a strong stand, a quick stand, and kind of, stake their claim and say, this is what I believe. Do you think this is not a good idea for the Republican Party to have Trump take this stand on birthright citizenship?
Not necessarily. I don't actually think, though, that there was a lot of thought going into the plan, and I don't think that
you don't think Trump planned this?
Well, possibly. I think there was one on immigration is not a new issue, right? The Republicans have been struggling on this issue for almost over a decade. I remember very well the debate in 2007. President Bush ultimately lost that legislative battle, mostly because of Democrats. And I actually think a lot of the problems that we wanted to solve, like E-Verify, securing the border, more troops, or more ICE agents, those things actually could have been solved then. A guest worker program, there's the rub. This issue of birthright citizenship is different, new, it is angry. I don't think it was well thought through. I think there's 100 questions. It's angry, and it goes to what you love, feelings. And feelings are important in a presidential race.
I'm an emotional person. I can't deny that. I don't know if it's necessarily angry, because I know that Senator Harry Reid, I think years back, proposed ending birthright citizenship. So I don't think it's that radical, and they don't have birthright citizenship in the European countries. So is it really that radical to say, listen, let's follow the law and let's wait in line to gain citizenship?
Well, actually, that has been proposed on the citizenship part, but on whether or not what you do with the 11 million. And I do think that the candidates were not prepared for this debate, but you have to be prepared for the unexpected. What we're talking about next August and the lead up, we have no idea what that could be. Nobody was talking about Al-Qaeda on September 10th, 2001, and we don't know what it's going to be. But this issue has actually drawn some of them out, and the Republicans, I think, have not, most of them hadn't thought it through, and that's why you see a lot of flip-flopping, a lot of people aren't sure, and some people just totally taking a pass.
Here's who I think Trump is appealing to with the birthright citizenship thing. You have, I think, 400,000 anchor baby births, if I'm allowed to use that term, in the United States each year. And middle class working Americans are getting hammered. And Trump is saying, listen, I want to stick up for American babies, and we can stick up for the foreign babies later. But right now, I think for the first time in this country, parents are saying, I don't think my children are going to have as great of a life as I did. And illegal immigration is killing the worker. It's causing havoc on public schools. There's DUIs. They're sending money back. They're not investing it here. It's a drain on the system. And he's saying, listen, let's get our house in order, then we can worry about the rest of the world.
If all of that were true, I could understand it.
What's not true about that? What did I say that wasn't true?
I think people do have a lot of anxiety about the future for their American-born children.
Yeah.
But here, one thing is, I actually think one of the things that makes America great is the value of birthright citizenship. That you can come to America, and if you get here, you can become an American citizen. My great-grandparents left Italy, a terrible situation. I walk out the other side of the American dream. That's amazing. Prospectively, do we need to have a look at the 14th Amendment and say, okay, going forward, do we want to do this? But I think what's happened is we're having a debate about uprooting families and sending them back to where? If they're not American citizens, what citizens are they? Are we just going to have stateless people running all over the world?
Well, my theory on this, I say we send everybody down to the border, have the illegal alien families build the border wall. They can build the wall, and then the ones that work hard build the wall, then they can stay. Those are the good ones, right?
The thing is, I know that, and it feels good to say all of that, But then if you're practical and you're thinking, well, wait, none of that is actually true. It's a repulsive fantasy that we're all having, but it sounds good and it's fun to talk about. And I don't know
if it's a repulsive fantasy. I'm just thinking this. Trump is a master negotiator. He really wants to get this house in order, and he's putting a marker down the sand and saying, we got to freeze this, and kind of rhetoric like this freezes the anchor baby industry, and maybe that can have an effect. But I have to go, Dana, thank you so much for taking the time.
Your mom is not going to be happy.
No, she's not.